Thank you.
So we have our media here. They're going to jump in with questions when they're ready. So everyone go ahead with your questions.
Jamar, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Describe the feeling when you got the call from the Bengals and who called you.
It was an amazing feeling, getting that call, of course, being a fifth pick. I just couldn't really believe it at the most part. I was wondering who was actually calling my phone. Like is somebody really calling me right now? And I seen the Ohio area code, and I just was like, this is it. And hey, coach called me. Coach called me and told me, he's like, we're gonna draft you and make you a Cincinnati Bengal.
How does it feel to be reunited with Joe Burrow?
It feels good. Going back with him, getting back with this content we're gonna do. Got to get back on schedule, work hard again, and make some plays.
More, you were wearing a jacket. You had a lot of pictures in there of a lot of people. As we say, it takes a village to raise a child. Talk about representing your hometown and all the people that were adorned in your jacket.
All right. My jacket is just my biggest support system. All of my friends, family that's been watching me this whole time, staying with me this whole time. I just wanted to show my love and support like they have been doing this whole time. So it's nothing but me just giving my love back like they're doing to me.
Jamar, Twitter was losing its mind about the shoes when they saw your shoes with the orange and black. So we have to know.
That's crazy.
Was that planned out, thinking like the Bengals might take you? Did you have a good feeling they might? Did you want them to? I mean, what was the thought process in that?
It's crazy because the shoes were actually not – this was a last-minute pick with the shoes, actually. And it just so happened to be the orange color. I like them, I like how they look with my suit, and I stayed with it. So I even had to go get an orange handkerchief just to make sure it looked correctly.
Jamar, you mentioned the excitement to play with Joe again. Do you feel like you guys can be even more dangerous in the NFL than you were at LSU?
Definitely. There's always room to grow, and I think this is another chance for me to grow, and also Joe. I definitely can learn more about the game because he definitely taught me some stuff when I was at LSU. So I think this will be easy.
Did he call and catch you yet?
Say it again.
Did he call and wish you congratulations yet or text you?
I actually don't know. My phone has been ringing in my pocket for the past 10 minutes. I haven't took it out of my pocket yet, actually. So I'm hoping he called.
Jamar, how much have you guys talked? Jamar, how much have you guys talked to you and Joe about this potential reunion?
Me and Joe talked about this maybe like 3-4 times, actually. We talked about it a good bit of times. He texted me this morning letting me know, get your bags packed. So I guess that means that was going to be the pick. I don't know if that was a hint or what. So he sent me that little text this morning, and I was like, okay, I'm ready, bro.
Jamar, I remember you kept a list on your mirror, I think, at home. You kept a list on your mirror of goals.
Right.
Wondering just kind of broadly what they were, and was being the 5th pick in the draft ever on that list?
Actually, the 5th pick in the draft was not on that list. I just wanted to be drafted. I think that was the biggest happiness I had all night, being drafted. But everything else is falling in place now.
Was it playing for a national champion and stuff like that and getting 1,000?
Yeah, my goals on my mirror were, 10 touchdowns, 1,500 yards, 100 yards a game. I actually had the Blitzen Call for War on top of my mirror a few games in. So I actually know I had a chance of winning it once the season started.
After you had the great season you had in 2019, how tough was the decision to opt out last year?
Yeah, it was definitely a tough decision. I mean, the decision looked easy from the outlooks, but from the in looks, everything is going crazy. So it was a long process, waiting that whole time, waiting for my family and friends, just making sure they were still supporting me as I was going through this journey that I've never been through. So I just want to say I just have a blessed moment to actually have the chance to opt out and make it at this point.
Do you have any goals for the pros? I mean, what are you going to put on your mirror, tomorrow? Yeah. Do you have any goals for your pro career?
I definitely have some goals. I want to win Rookie of the Year. I want to have 10 touchdowns, and I want to have at least 1,500 yards or 1,000 yards minimum for this year.
2019, Joe Brady was your offensive coordinator, and you were in a pro-style offense working against, SEC corners that were high draft picks in the NFL. Do you feel like being part of that whole thing will make your transition that much easier to the NFL?
Definitely. Just by how I handle myself at LSU, you know, with Joe Brady and Coach O and Mickey, those guys made me into the man I am today. That made me a better football player. I think, you know, me going with the Bengals would just be easier, you know, going back to the old plays we probably had. So it shouldn't be nothing new for me.
Jamar, what did you like about playing with Joe those 2 seasons at LSU?
Me and Joe built a relationship in the summertime before my sophomore year. I like the way Joe handles himself. You know, he's always calm, very collective, you know, and he's not afraid to tell me something. So that's something I love for my quarterback. You know, me and him is always talking. We're on the same page, communicating about the defenses, offenses. So I'm always willing to learn and have an open ear whenever Joe's talking to me.
What's that like for you to kind of have that relationship already built in as you're making this transition from the college to the pros?
I think it's a big thing, you know. This is something that, you know, a lot of people might not have the chance to do, especially be with their quarterback that they want to blend off of with. So I think that's something that's going to be great. You know, might have a tremendous start. We'll see what week 1 brings us.
Jamar, you started to really evolve into the wide receiver position. Was there any wide receiver that you looked up to, maybe patterned your game after as you started to become really skilled at this craft?
Definitely. When I was growing up, Ezekiel Elliott's first year, that was my favorite team, Dallas Cowboys, actually. I was always watching Dez Bryant. That was somebody I grew onto as I grew up. And then once I got older, I started watching Stephon Diggs and watching how he moved and shifted his body in different ways and always stopped on a dime. So for the most part now, I just try to take as many pieces from different players and add them to my own.
Thank you.
Jamar, obviously you had that record-setting season in 2019. How has your game improved over the past 16 months or so?
Yeah, my game definitely going to make a tremendous jump. I don't know how it's improved already, but I'm definitely willing to see for myself. You know, I haven't played a whole year of football, so when I get back to practice and getting back to feeling like myself again, I definitely know for sure I'll have a great season.
Did you watch the Bengals more closely this season because of Joe, and what did you learn about the team?
I actually did watch the Bengals play one time. They played on TV. I seen that they ran a couple of LSU plays, you know, but that's a good thing, you know. For the most part, you know, watching Joe, I'm always going to follow Joe, and just because, you know, he's a bud of mine, had a quarterback relationship. So, you know, I was always cheering him on like I do the rest of the LSU guys.
Jamar, outside of the obvious win in the national championship, do you have a best memory with Joe, whether it's on the field or off the field? Do you have a best memory that you look back on with Joe Burrow?
I'll probably say Ole Miss game when I put on some icy hot. It was pretty cold that game. I actually put some stuff on my arms, and Joe didn't like it. He told me to take it off because I'm getting the ball too slippery. So I'll probably say that was actually a funny moment for me because I wasn't expecting him to go off on me about that.
You got a lot of traits that wide receivers, you know, covet. What do you think is your best trait at the wide receiver position? What do you do best in your mind?
Yeah, my best trait at receiver. That's the reason why I'm the best receiver in this draft. My high point is the best thing I have. You can definitely see that for looks. I have strong hands. That's the high point again. Releases are getting cleaner. And then my routes are very good. You know, I make a good way of getting a defender off me because they always holding me. I never did get a call in college. So just looking at my film will show you how good my routes are.
Can you describe the summer of 10,000 catches and what that did for your development?
Yeah, the summer of the 10,000 catches actually was a great move for me, actually. It made me realize how much that I need to catch the ball more, you know, just keeping that same routine of catching footballs in your mind all the time. I think that's something that, you know, NFL is now my job. So, you know, catching the ball is my job now. So that's all that I have to do. So the 10,000 catches might start again this summer. So it was a good jump for me.
Jamar, who shared the moment with you tonight in the NFL draft room? I know your parents were there. Who all did you want to share that moment with you?
Yeah, my brother Terrell was there. My mom, my dad, my cousin Jada was there. Mickey Joseph was there. Coach O, my agents, and those were it. You know, I just couldn't. You know, I couldn't ask for a better support system than the guys who were in the room tonight. So I just say thank you for that.
You know, Jamar, obviously Joe's coming off the knee injury, and you know, how do you phase that in? Have you kind of talked to him about being able to get those routes with him early as he's trying to come off? I mean, what does that timetable look like for y'all to kind of get that chemistry back to kind of where it was when y'all were at LSU?
Yeah, I'll see where he is on his injury. I'm pretty sure, whenever I meet with him, we'll probably get a session in as soon as we could, whenever he's feeling great. But for the most part, health is the biggest thing in the NFL, and I think he can get his health first. Worry about his health is the first thing first, and then get back to me.
Jamar, did you have a pecking order in your mind of teams that you maybe wanted to go to before the draft started? And what was it you wanted to get most out of whatever team ended up taking you in this draft?
Actually, I actually didn't care where I went, man. It's just a blessing to be here, for the most part. I really just wanted to get drafted by anybody. I mean, anybody could have got me. I would try to make an impact. So it's just a blessing, honestly, man, just to say I got the 5th pick. That's before Jamal Adams. So, I mean, that's a high pick, so I'm going to go back home and go laugh at my friends about this. This is crazy. It still doesn't feel real at the moment. So I'm just going to enjoy it, soak it all in.
I'm sure you and Joe Burrow spoke more than once prior to the draft. What did he have to tell you about the Cincinnati Bengals organization?
Joe didn't really tell me too much about the organization yet. I mean, we didn't really talk about anything about the organization. We were talking about ourselves, really trying to make sure we're back on the page and talking about he low-key be recruiting me on the low, telling me we getting you and stuff like that. So that was a conversation we've been having lately. So
what was your reaction like when he was low-key recruiting you and saying, hey, we're going to go get you?
I actually was believing him. Sometimes I was like, stop playing with me. And then sometimes, I was just like, okay, bro, I got you. I'm ready now. So I believed him this morning when he told me, pack my bag. So that's when I finally was like, damn, he might really be calling this. So that's when I took his word.
You're known for your strength. What is the strongest thing you've ever done? The strongest thing you've picked up or thrown or
yeah.
I mean,
I hand cleaned 395 one time. So that was probably end of my freshman year. I definitely did that. I got a video of it. So that was probably something the strongest thing I did. I haven't been really lifting too heavy anymore.
What have been your early impressions on Zach Taylor?
Zach Taylor?
Head coach.
Messing with you, my guy. But yeah, he called me early, telling me, we're excited to have you. And he was talking about, building that chemistry back up with Joe. So, I mean, I'm ready. I told him I can't wait to put on a show. Let's do it, Coach.
Jamar, were you able to sleep the last couple of nights, or were you just staying up with anticipation, waiting on this moment?
I actually been being calm this whole time. I actually didn't know where I was going to go until probably an hour before I got here. So, I was staying calm. I slept like a baby last night, to be honest, man. I was pretty tired, man. Ohio and New Orleans time zone is a little different. So I definitely crashed when I got inside last night.
So you'll probably sleep well tonight then.
I definitely will.
Jamar, I'm sure you've seen the new rules where receivers can wear single-digit numbers. Do you want to wear number 1 with the Bengals?
That's the plan. Getting back in 1. I think that's my goal right there. I think that's what I want to do. Well, that's what I want to do. That's not what I think.
Jamar, before this draft, have you been to Ohio before? And what do you remember about just ever watching the Bengals growing up?
Yeah, I've never been to Ohio, actually. This is actually my first time close to Ohio. So I'm going to be out there tomorrow. I can't wait to see what's in store. So I'm just going to soak it all in. That'll be the best thing.
I don't know if you're aware the Bengals picked up Moss earlier this offseason at tight end and trying to bring the band back together, it looks like.
I definitely do see we trying to get the old team back together. I can dig it. I like it. I can't wait to talk to Thad, talk to my old guy. He actually texted me during this draft and let me know, I see you doing your thing and stuff like that. So I can't wait to go back and have a chat with those guys.
Jamar, how tough was this sitting out and, everyone else is playing, unless you didn't have a great year, but still knowing what you had done the year before? And how do you convince NFL teams that that was the thing to do and you were ready for the NFL without having made this past season?
Yeah. It was actually a task for me. This is my first time ever sitting out of football. I actually started football late. So I started at like 9 years old. So that was my first time stop playing football ever since I started playing. So it was a little difficult for me at first. I was actually thinking about opting back in. But, you know, for the most part, it was just, you know, a great way to build yourself up and find who I am, you know, recognize myself, have more control of my mind and stuff like that. So I think it was a better way for me, you know, to become a man.
Couple more minutes.
Bengals have had some great wide receivers over the years, Jamar, most recently AJ Green, and before that, Chad Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
Any thoughts on those two guys and following in that legacy?
I'm going to break every record they got at the Bengals. That's my goal right there. I'm telling you right now. I'm going to break every record they have. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but it's going to get done.
Speaking of getting it done, there was the Icky Shuffle here, one of the best dances in the NFL. You have a unique dance that kind of, you raised the profile of it in Louisiana. Talk about that dance, and are you bringing that celebration?
Yeah, the Gritty actually is something we took really, really big. Me, Justin, and this dude named Gritty from New Orleans. I showed Justin Jefferson it, you know, Gritty showed me it, and it really just took off from there. I'm glad Justin got it popping now. We got it on video games, so I think that's something pretty cool. But, you know, it's amazing just watching stuff like that happen in front of our eyes now.
Bengals offensive coordinator Brian Callahan said that he envisions you as the X receiver, and that was AJ Green's position for a decade. Based on your confidence, you feel like you can fill those shoes, right?
Definitely. I'm playing inside and outside, so it don't matter where they put me at. I'm going to do everything I can on the field, make plays.
Any more questions for Jamar?
Yeah, where did you make most of your plays in the 2019 season? Inside or outside, or was it pretty equal?
Majority of my explosive plays came from the outside. I had maybe like 3 routes from the inside that I scored on that was long yards. But majority of my explosive plays came from outside.
Jamar, there's a good amount of LSU guys now on the roster. How quickly do you guys want to hear Neck at Paul Brown Stadium?
You said how fast do we want to hit Neck?
Correct. Yes.
That's funny. I wouldn't mind hearing it, actually. That'll be something pretty cool. Actually, here, I would probably start laughing like I just did if I heard it. It's been a while since I heard it, so I wouldn't mind hearing it again.
One last question.
Hey, you mentioned the icy hot game. What is the coldest weather you've ever played in? And was that a thought, or is it a thought in your mind at all, what that's going to be like for you?
The coldest game I played in was Arkansas my freshman year. I put on sleeves that game to make it less cold, but you know, I'm gonna be prepared for it. Not nothing like I never faced before. Only thing I haven't played in is snow, so I'm pretty sure I'll get that probably. But you know, for the most part, I'm gonna try to be prepared, more prepared than I ever been. So I'm looking forward to it.
All right, Jamar, we kept you for a while, so thanks for your time. Congratulations again, and we'll be talking to you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.